What's up, guys, and welcome back to a brand new video on the gosh darn internet. And I hope you guys had an awesome New Year's. Well, you know who didn't have an awesome New Year's? People that don't like Asmongold, and they continue to try to push this hardcore right agenda. Like, they're giving him goofy names like Asmine Camp. And yesterday, Asmongold actually reacted to online comments that were comparing his rhetoric about quote-unquote third world parasites to that of Monkler. Let's just call him Monkler, but you know who we're talking about. A great guy with the mustache, with the little mustache, and he may or may not have been a pedo, but that was a different time, guys. We don't talk about that. We look at all the based and cool stuff that we can regurgitate on the interwebs. Anyway, so he went ahead and he replied, and he found the comparison to be quite outlandish, but it is very interesting to note that he actually seems a little bothered by still being compared to something like that. I would think somebody that is, you know, quote unquote based and whatnot would be just generally okay with these comparisons, or rather not even okay, but not mind them at all. But without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's just play the clip and let's see what's going on. Play that shit.
I'll tell you something. This low income, ignorant, delusional, brain dead, third world importation of all of these illiterate people that can't speak English, that have no fucking skills, live off the government, and are effectively parasites on the United States of America is a class war. All the comments saying you're a Nazi? Guys, this is just like Adolf Hitler.
He is and remains a complete parasite, a scrounger, like a harmful bacteria always spreading further.
Okay, I just quickly want to explain the goofy kind of whatever's happening right now. This clip comes directly from this one Twitter account handle called This Info Tracker, and they seem to have a hard-on for Asmongold, but they seem to like Hassan, or at the very least try to make a devil's advocate defense for Hassan. So, you know, take that as you will. Hell, it could be Hassan for all we know. But he seems to be making these edits. This was directly from this tweet right here. So again, no clue what the goofiness is. I'm assuming they might have edited it themselves. But yeah, all credit to them for this, whatever it is. But yeah, I just felt like clearing that up, and let's just keep playing it.
His presence produces the effect of a parasitic plant. Wherever he settles, the people who welcome him will be wiped out eventually.
Because these fucking parasites have come in from other countries. They're stealing our money.
Parasites? How does it even make... What? They're parasites because they take a job? That's a...
Yes, of course they are. What is a parasite? A parasite attaches itself to a host country, stay with me here. It attaches itself to a host, and then it extracts nutrients, resources, and life force out of that for itself.
The effect of his existence resembles also that of parasites. Where he appears, the host people die out sooner or later.
Now, what I'm assuming Asmongold was talking about here was the whole Somalian thing that we referenced the other day in that video, which you can go check out. I'm going to make an entire playlist dedicated to these takes because they're rather informative in its own way. But some people seem to believe that Asmongold isn't necessarily wrong. These people are leeching off of people's tax money. They sit in expensive homes. They drive expensive cars, all from the money taken from, you know, citizens or whatnot. But yet people think that it should be used for something better in the country as a whole. Let me know what you think. If you think Asmongold is a little off track with his take. I personally don't disagree with what he's saying, personally. But, you know, some people seem to think that that's a pretty out there take. Not really sure, but I mean, let me know if you fall into that camp. Personally, again, I'd like to say I've seen and heard worse. That's right. There is currently a trend right now called looks maxing, and I'm pretty sure it came from TikTok, and I'm pretty sure this guy over here invented it. You want to talk about women being a product of society? Well, this is your equivalent of a male woman being the product of society. Looks maxing. Oh my god. So basically a niche getting crazier in 2026. You know, it's generating basically fake before and after transformations using AI content. Everybody basically wants to look good, but there's like several examples of things that can be faked in AI form, and then you can just make a nice little TikTok. I think the only thing I've heard from this guy was something about his fertility for some reason. And then another thing he brought up was something about Charlie Kirk. Let's go ahead and roll those clips, monkey.
So right now, I am infertile, but I'm not able to have a kid right now. But if I wanted to, there's a protocol I can put in place to be immediately good again.
Wait, why are you infertile right now?
So it's just like a negative feedback loop when you're not needing to produce testosterone anymore because your body realizes, okay, we're getting it from an exogenous
So you're not producing
source.
any testosterone naturally?
No.
None?
No. Charlie Kirk have gotten assassinated if he were Chad? Well, probably not, and here's why. Good-looking people experience something called the halo effect, so it's quite possible that if Charlie were to be better looking, someone wouldn't have hated him enough to assassinate him. What happened to him is quite terrible, and this might be an insensitive video to make, but I'm really trying to bring awareness to how brutal the black pill is. Looks really are going to determine the quality of your life to a high degree, so if you're not doing everything you can to maximize them, you're missing out.
Holy shit, chat. Things are getting even worse. Alright, things are getting even worse. This guy claims to be MAGA, or at least was in the right-wing sphere, still is. I don't know, he's just calling Gavin Newsome like hot for some reason. He's like judging JD Vance's looks. I don't know. We have people like Secular Talk trying to make this like a thing where he's like, you created this monster, right-wing said, or some stupid shit like that. Like, oh, so the right created good-looking people, or like people that want to be good-looking? I don't know. I mean, I don't get what's going on. I don't get what's going on in this kooky world anymore. But again, I mean, what I'm trying to say here is that by comparison, Asmon's takes can never be as out there as this, to be honest. To say that having like it's just more delusional than when Trump said he was gonna buy his way to heaven or something, if that's legit. But this guy is actually saying that if you're hot, you will survive crazy motherfuckers trying to attack you. I mean, that's kind of backwards logic. If you were hot, I would imagine more crazy individuals want to attack you just because, you know, you're like hot or whatever, right? I mean, that's typically what people like that would end up doing. But again, we've reached a day and age where stupidity is just running rampant, and we might just have moles in the right-wing sphere, which is not really surprising. As I told you guys early on, there was some shenanigans going about that was going to be revealed. And I guess, you know, I either jinxed it or I called it ahead of time. I mean, I have a record for calling things ahead of time. You know what it is. This record of Sen calls things, gets people mad, people attack him, then thing happens. Then people pretend to not give Sen his dues. But if you want to be a good person and give Sen his dues and be part of the Senny squad, send a like on this video, share it around, and leave a comment. Voice your opinion. Whatever I just said, whether it was the look maxing thing, whether it was the Asmon maxing thing. Personally, I don't think Asmon would be able to look max, but maybe there's somebody that disagrees with that too. Anyway, I'll catch you guys in the next video, whenever that may be. Stay frosty, stay sunny, and remember guys, don't, and I mean don't, be a retard.
So you're not producing any testosterone naturally?
No.
None?
No.
Are the Amish people aware of the evil flying demons that are coming to kill them and feed their corpses to the wall of flesh?
What?